Yo, 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 good evening. Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I guess we only had one day off, but enjoyed your day off and your weekend and recharge, spend some time with your families, and do what regular people do when they're not trading. Back to work starting tomorrow. You know, slightly higher week last week in the market, right? We grinded higher in what's a typical fashion of really the last so many months is we get that kind of low volatility, low range type of move higher and higher, and then typically we get some quick snapbacks. About once a month or so, and so we're back kind of on that push. The market does look like it needs to take a breather. If we could, come back and back test some areas, I think that could provide some fresh opportunities and some fresh charts, as what typically happens after you see runs like this. A lot of charts need to reset and reform consolidation areas and bases to get power back in, and we're starting to see even a rotation from really the high beta names that everybody was in previously into some new names. And so I think a pullback would really allow us to see, who's going to be, where's the money going to, where's the hot money going to flow to? For a long time, right, we were in, right, social media, and these stocks have broken down, right? A lot of these IPO stocks that we've been really making a lot of money from the last so long, right? They're starting to show, right, some signs of leveling out and weakness and things like that. And so, now we got to find our next runners, right? We've been really riding some of these bad boys, the TSLs and the SCTYs, and they've broken down a little bit the last month. And so where's that fresh money going to come from? And we'll find out if we can get a nice market dip, right? That'll kind of tell us who the leaders are. But in the meantime, we've got to really be on point and really eyeballing what stocks are now running, right? As the spec money's gone away from our two faves in terms of the solars and social media, and they're starting to show up in other places, and so that's something to keep an eye on over this next week. This past week didn't really give us very many clues because the turkey runs. Turkey week is usually best for like small cap stocks. It's only the day traders are really running around. So you'll see these stocks like, ELTK and right, all these type of stocks just kind of out of nowhere start flying. So that's what we trade during Turkey week. Now we're back to normal. So we'll see what happens in terms of where the market starts to allocate some funds. Russell 2000 up 2% for the week, which makes sense, right? We saw really a lot of small caps flying around last week. I mean, some of them were up right 30, 40, 50%. It's Turkey week, right? When you see like stocks like freaking Zoom and stuff just out of nowhere, right, up like 200%, and people are still buying and playing it. Heck, we were too. It gives you some opportunities both ways. But Russell 2000, right, pretty extended, been on a nice run after you had kind of a flat top breakout here. Ideally some type of retest would be nice. Allow us to see how these charts shake up, but that doesn't necessarily happen much in this last bull market, and so we might have to grind our way higher. Just really be cognizant of the risk in the market as we get more and more extended. Nasdaq right up 2% plus for the week, right? Taking out highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days up in a row, even though it's Turkey week, right? Still a pretty good run for the Nasdaq. We're starting to get really overbought here. So any type of pullback would be welcome, as it's really hard to chase up the stocks here. But we'll keep an eye on all that fun stuff and see where the money shakes out this coming week. FXI, right? China's been really one of the stronger sectors, of the last, few months. And so it looks like we're making a run here, right, to yearly highs around that 42 area. So keep a good list of Chinese stocks on the watch. And, that really will help out too in terms of the spec money, because most of those kind of $6, $7, $10, $15 stocks that start flying around this time of year, right, a lot of those are Chinese stocks. And so with the Chinese markets overall showing some strength, we may have a nice push in those type of stocks. Home builders, right? So this is home builders, really kind of, making a really, really nice comeback over here. Back to yearly highs, really snuck up on you, snuck up on us. For a while it looked like home builders were going to have a nasty breakdown, and, lo and behold, right, we're starting to break out. So that could be a sector to watch. I typically don't like to day trade home builders. I've never found them to be very conducive to momentum trading, but, the overall look of the sector looks fantastic. Gold, still just farting around. Like, it looks like it's trying to make a bottom, but we just don't know where it is, right? We don't have necessarily anything that says, hey, this is the bottom here. We're just basically in a range, right? But overall, all your moving averages are pointing down, which tells you, right, the short, intermediate, and long-term trends on these are down. And so we just don't necessarily have anything that we can trade or an actionable setup. So you got to just kind of leave them alone. Natural gas up for almost 5% for the week, but kind of heading right back into resistance. So you got to leave it alone. Not much going on in it. And then the rest of the sectors are just kind of shaking out. Biotech still really strong, and we saw that last week. A lot of those spec bios were really, really going. Banks, we never really trade banks. These are boring stocks to day trade or even swing trade. So I usually stay away from them, but you can see overall, right, the action is bullish and the chart is much stronger. So that's it. That's it for now, guys. So, my game plan for this next week is, I'll be cognizant of my risk in the markets as we are extended. And what I'm looking for really this whole week is to see where the money is going to start flowing into. Right now that we've really escaped a lot of it out of the social media and solars, do they get their bid back, or is that money going into some other speculative sector? What is it? And right, can we get in position for those runs? I will say one thing to keep an eye out. It's December, so tax loss selling season, right? Watch a lot of these stocks like the TWGPs, these stocks that really took a tank and are starting to base out. At some point, right, all the tax loss selling will be done in the next week or two, and you'll start to see a bid come back into stock. And this type of setup, it's what we call a base breakout, becomes very, very powerful. So keep a list of these type of stocks that have been really murdered, and there'll be some opportunities in those also. So that's it for now, guys. Take care, and I will speak to you guys all soon.